Both presidential campaigns rolled through the crucial swing state of Ohio yesterday. Now they've moved on to Virginia. Romney's campaign has. Wall Street Journal's Sara Murray is on the campaign trail to talk about this. Sara, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, talk about polls. Ohio is a crucial state, and it appears that Obama's lead is being extended in Ohio, correct?
Absolutely. If there's any state that you could essentially call a must-win, Ohio is as close as it gets. And the latest polls are just really devastating. I mean, if you're in the Romney campaign, Obama has pulled to something like a 10-point lead in some of the most recent ones. And obviously, it's going to take a dramatic change in order for Governor Romney to make up a lead like that.
No Republican president has won the election, I should say, not having won Ohio. No president at all has been elected without winning Ohio since JFK. Are there any paths to victory for Mitt Romney if he isn't able to win Ohio?
It's still possible by electoral math for Governor Romney to win without winning Ohio. It's just extremely unlikely because you would essentially have to sweep most of the rest of the map. And the idea is if you can't win Ohio, what are the odds that you're just going to go across the country and sweep almost every other state?
Now you're in Virginia. Talk about the importance of Virginia for Mitt Romney.
You know, Virginia is a really interesting case because, of course, President Barack Obama flipped it to his column in 2008. It's something that Republicans really want to win back. If you look at the strategy, Virginia is kind of one of these states they need to win to sort of build up their coffers so they can also pick up places like Ohio and Florida, places like that. Places like Virginia and North Carolina are these sort of traditional Republican states that Republicans want back at their column, and that's why they're eyeing it, and that's kind of what makes this so important. But Virginia shaped up to be so interesting because it's kind of turning into the new bellwether. It, of course, has a lot of white working class voters. But, you know, also when you get into Northern Virginia, you're seeing a lot of, upper income folks, a lot more diversity, people who, have shown that they're more willing to vote for Barack Obama.
What's working in President Obama's favor? Why has he been able to extend his leads in some of these states?
You know, I think that obviously the video that came out showing Mitt Romney talking about the 47% hasn't helped. I think if you want to see how seriously his campaign is taking it, you can look at the ad that they released yesterday, which is basically Mitt Romney talking straight to camera about how he cares about the American people. If you're releasing an ad like that, and if you're running it in swing states across the country, that's a sign that you think that this videotape did real damage to your campaign. And I think that's part of what we're seeing in the polls right now.
It's really for Romney, maybe the debates are his last and best chance to regain some momentum. Is that true?
They've put a lot of stock in these debates, and they've spent a lot of time doing debate prep. I know there were weekends where we were like, what's Governor Romney doing? He's spending the entire weekend down just preparing for these debates. They're taking them extremely seriously, and I think this could really be what turns the tide for them. I think the key is that they have to kind of first do no harm. So don't do any harm until you get up to October 3rd, the first debate, and then you have to deliver a really strong debate performance, and the Romney campaign knows that.
Now, there's a great line in your story. It was a line from the president. He makes an interesting point where he says, no matter how many times the Romney campaign, try to tell you they're going to start talking specifics really soon, they don't do it. And the reason is because the math doesn't work. And he was referring to basically Mitt Romney saying he can fix the deficit and cut taxes. Talk about that and how Mitt Romney could address that key issue in the debates.
Well, what's really interesting is yesterday when I was traveling in Ohio with Governor Romney, he said something that he doesn't normally say, which is he told a crowd in Ohio not to expect a huge tax cut. This is a guy who earlier this year rolled out a 20% across-the-board cut in tax rates. So I think this is an acknowledgement that they realize they're going to get a lot of incoming fire in the debates about how their math just doesn't work, how you can't go out and promise everyone a tax cut and promise to increase military spending and promise to balance the budget in 8 years. You know, obviously something there doesn't add up. And so the new kind of messaging we're getting is, well, Governor Romney's not trying to go out and give everyone a tax cut. He's trying to reform the tax code and make it simpler. And I think a lot of that is really readying their message for the debate. They know they're going to catch a lot of incoming from the president about how they've made all of these promises and it just doesn't look like they can keep them.